Good evening, Namibia, and welcome to the special edition of the Swapo Party Congress Update, where we get to sit down with the Secretary General of the Swapo Party to give us an update of what's been happening here at the Safari Hotel and Conference Center, where Swapo's obviously much talked about 6th elective Congress is taking place. Good evening, Secretary General, and welcome to the special edition of our program.
Good evening, Patrick.
Maybe you can just give us a quick recap. Yesterday we saw that the celebration started in immense jubilation here at Safari Hotel and Conference Center. Tell us maybe what happened yesterday, just as a quick recap.
Yesterday we had a wonderful day in the sense that the opening statement of Dr. Hage Geingob, our president of the party and of the republic, was dynamic, was to the point, was understandable. But the core thing is, whatever we are doing, we must maintain the unity of our party and the unity of our country. We must be inclusive. We must aim to make Namibia a prosperous country. We were lucky, and it was shown that we have international friends. Friends, we start with Sweden and Germany. We start with Cuba to the west and China to the east. All our sister party within the region, from ANC, ZANU-PF, CCM, Frelimo, MPLA, even the Botswana Democratic Party, the Patriotic Front of Zambia, they all came on a short notice indicating their interest in Namibia, their connection, their strong historic connection to the Swapo party. We were very much pleased to have that.
Given also that you're referring to the president's speech, where he said, and I quote, remember, the storm is a good opportunity for the pine and the cypress to show their strength and stability. So is the acknowledgement that this Congress, there is a storm? Talk to us about the closed session and what was said during that.
Yeah, no, let's talk first the issue of the storm. Every Namibian who had been in Namibia for the past 2-3 months know how we were campaigning, how we were working hard. And as politicians, of course, there are things we have said that were not complementary to other people. There are things we have said about ourselves that were not necessarily true. But now we are in a Congress as one body. We have to take decisions that affect our party, that affect our government, that affect our country for the next 5 years. And it's not for the interest of one person, but the interest of the party and the country as a whole. So that make a storm. It is now over. We now must do business of the people and business of the party.
But do you think that sentiment has changed in terms of the possible founding president as well as the former president being the calm to the storm? I mean, there's speculation that there was direct and honest conversations about this happiness and unhappiness, rather, with regards to the nature of the campaigns and how the teams have been campaigning.
Yeah.
Did they bring the calm?
The founding president, a good leader as he is and as he has been, he has handled many crises, many difficult situations. He was open to us what he wished it could have happened, what he wished it should continue to happen, and in overall our contacts. But he was fair to all sides. He did explain himself. He did tell us a little bit of the history of our party, and that still in the frame of mind, still that whatever we do, we should do it in the sense of one Namibia, one nation.
What's your response to a lot of analysts that are worried about what could possibly transpire after Sunday in terms of factionalism, the possibility of tribalism? What's your response to a lot of people that are nervous about what might happen post-Congress?
First of all those things have been discussed, and we are discussing them. My sense is that we as a party, as leaders entrusted by our districts, regions, wings, and the Central Committee, will overcome them. It is one thing when you are campaigning to say a number of things. It's like when you are campaigning in the national elections. you say a lot of things, but you are not necessarily going to fulfill those things. My appeal to our people in the country, business people, people in the villages, people in education, people wherever they are working, is to have confidence in the leadership of Swapo that we can overcome all kinds of problems and challenges.
Let's talk about what's transpired today. Obviously, you had to give a report back in terms of the work that you've done since the 5th Congress. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Maybe I should still give credit to the former President Pohamba because I did not mention him. He was more than eloquent. He gave us what he thought. He clarified the issue of how he decided that he must give all the authority and power of the Swapo party to his vice president. And he has no regret about that. That was very, very clear. And that he has not done anything illegal. And luckily, in this meeting now, we have endorsed that position. There is no more question on that. And we are waiting by tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. We now will elect whoever is going to be the president of the Swapo party, so that this question of acting, not acting, will be erased from.
But I mean, to address that issue, has that been a learning lesson for the Swapo party in terms of the possibility of creating power vacuums when you do hand over the total presidency to one person?
Yeah.
What's the lesson learned?
Yeah, that's a good lesson for us, and that we have been talking to ourselves that maybe in the future, the term of office of the Swapo party president and the term of office of the President of the Republic must be harmonized in such a way that this period is either shortened or eliminated altogether. But those are things for the future. But we are pleased now. We are going to vote. We have candidates for all those positions, and whoever wins will be the leader of our party.
We obviously know that Congress is more than just elections, and always the time you're taking a reflection as the party as well. What are some of the constitutional issues that have been highlighted that need to be addressed in order to ensure that the party does remain united?
No, I think what we have discussed, all the things under the sun. First, we have given an account of all the resolutions of the 5th Congress, what we have done, and to what degree have we accomplished those, in a percentage terms even. Then we have talked about how effective we have been in mobilizing our people to come to Swapo, to join Swapo, to participate in the activities of the Swapo party. And I'm pleased to say whatever problems or challenges we may face, Swapo continues to be a popular organization, and the only thing is that when it comes to positions, we compete that as if there is no tomorrow. But that is something we can manage. If you are many, you have choices.
Given that, what are some of the rules of engagement that you've agreed upon come Sunday when it comes to election time?
We have adopted the rules of how to conduct the Congress. That one we have adopted. The rules of elections. That we have elected or appointed a returning officer. And the returning officer, either tomorrow afternoon or whenever we are ready to tell him, he will explain to us the rules. This one has nothing to do with the rules of elections.
Okay, so this was the rules of Congress. No. There's assertion that there might be a possibility for an extraordinary Congress before 2019, when the next one's supposed to be. Yeah. What's been the position
We
of
have
that?
taken a decision that let us not deal with the issue of amendment to the Constitution. We need amendment to be done properly and seriously. We need all our lawyers and even expert lawyers from outside to look at them. So we are going to have a extraordinary Congress specifically to amend the Constitution, hopefully next year.
Okay. So given the realities of it, is there certain acknowledgements that some of the terms of the Constitution are not in terms of favoring the party, in terms of the unity? Why do you need to then have a specific extraordinary Congress directly dealing with Swapo Constitution?
No, the demand are that any clause you put in the Swapo Party Constitution must be approved by the Congress. That's the demand. We have a number of things to insert. and it will be unfair for me to start enumerating them when we are going to have a Congress. When the time comes, you will all know what those recommendations are.
Okay. But part of the issue when it comes to obviously the election this time is that the Constitution mandates that every individual runs within its own merits. But all of a sudden, there was this team approach, Team Swapo and a Team Harambe. Are those some of the issues that can be looked at?
We got knocked on our knuckles on that by both the founding and the former. There was no need for this. Even the names they were saying, even the names we have chosen for our teams were not appropriate. Also, the issue of star rallies, as if we have a national election. But we accept that. That is now water under the bridge. The main thing is we have candidates, and we must vote for whoever we consider to be the best candidate.
The other issue, obviously, was the neutrality of the Secretary General throughout the campaigns. What's your position on that?
The neutrality, you see, the Secretary General is not a civil servant. He is a politician, an elected politician for that matter. And for the past 3 years, I think, I have been supporting Dr. Geingob in all the work we have been doing. Meetings of the political bureau, meeting of the central committee, whatever other programs of the party, we have been working together, of course, with my deputy. We were three. Tatepo Hamba could come to the meeting, so is the founding. But in terms of the administration of the party, we were three. Now, were I supposed to go now, campaign for Geingob, campaign for Jerry Akanjo, campaign for Naha Sangula, could they have accepted me, knowing my position? I have said before, I nominated. The first nomination in the political bureau was done by me to nominate Hage Geingob as the candidate for the presidency of the Swapo party. They were there. They knew my position. That the neutrality is when it comes to meetings, when it comes to all those things, we were neutral. They got their document exactly the same time. They have access to Swapo facilities. They have access to Swapo halls and offices, material. There was no discrimination on my part. But I cannot be a chameleon. I have to stick to one rule, and I have to stick with my president.
The other two issues that are outstanding that could possibly also hinder the outcome of the Congress, it is obviously the elections that took place in the Omaike region as well as the challenges in the Hartab. What is the party's position regarding those core challenges?
I think it is very, very clear now that as far as Hartab, as far as Omaike is concerned, those who were challenging, they lost the case, with cost for that matter. And we must also learn, you can't, 4 people, taking the whole regional leadership to court, including leaders assigned, including even those who went to verify, very senior members of the political bureau, who went to verify why the process is proper. And they verify, and they give us the result, who won and who lost. And some of them even were running away from those elections processes. How do you win a case like that? The Hardab region, there are some threats, but the delegates, the 10 and from the region and the other one from the district, they are already here, they are participating. We will see whatever happens.
Another big issue, maybe you addressed it in terms of the Extraordinary Congress, has been what qualifies you to become a member of the Central Committee, and at the same time, what qualifies you to run for the top 4 positions? Has that been an issue that's been addressed at this Congress?
No, that is an old, we have old procedures. Anyone who come to Congress, first, every member of the present Central Committee membership have the right to run. After that, each region nominate 4 people. And we will be put in the pot and we will compete. But this time, we have to have exactly equal number of women and men.
Okay. So given that, and given what's taken place so far, and you spoke largely about the selection of the teams being something that might have not been beneficial to the unity in the party. What is your message to Swapo supporters that are not here as delegates and sympathizers out there for them to know what's transpired here?
Well, whatever is transpiring here is what every Congress does, to discuss policy issues, to amend mistakes, and to make sure that the elections are properly organized and that those who win truly win, and those who lose truly lose. That's basically. We are looking for leaders for the next 5 years, and luckily some of us are not looking for the position we're having now.
What is then the future come tomorrow? What do people need to be aware of, and what are some of the key procedures that are going to be in place?
The general public must allow their representative, the delegates to the Congress, to do their work and report after the Congress is over.
After the Congress is over, what is your expectation in terms of how to respond to whoever wins?
I think we're already framing the mechanism. We should have proper procedures. The returning officer, the lawyer Sisana Manje, will have a team of capable people. He will be accompanied every step by party agent representing each one of those who are looking or seeking the top 4 positions. That one is legal, is mechanical, and the tabulation will be done by qualified auditors.
Okay.
So we have already agreed, whoever win, embrace the others. Whoever lost, we must pick one another up and continue to build the party.
Another issue that the people are uncertain about is the gender equality issue. Does the top 4, what is the policy regarding the top 4 and the gender equality?
No, the top 4, the gender equality for the top 4 basically right now, as it is on paper, is of the top 4, in whatever arrangement, it can't be more than each gender must, or sex must have only 2 people. There cannot be 3 men or 3 women. There must be 2 men and 2 women. In which order, how they appear, it does not matter.
Okay. But given that also obviously gives the potential that it might not be like that given the results. So how do you deal with that, for instance, if there is 3 men and then 1 woman?
We deal with that when we get there.
Okay.
Don't ask me theoretical questions. I'm a practicing administrator and a politician.
But there's got to be a policy framework in the instance that happens for something to be followed. What does the policy state around that?
Well, the rule only say that it must be 2 women and 2 men.
Okay.
We should find a formula.
And we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yes.
Talk to us about elections, how this election process is going to take place. What is the first election? What's the last election? When do the results get announced throughout tomorrow?
What we usually do is, of course, the top 4 position. There will be a box for the president. And then we have 3 people. We know their name. Geingob, Ekanjo, Angula. Okay? Each one of us will have a piece of paper to elect one of them in preference of our political inclinations. Then the Vice President, Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General. Those are boxes. Then selection of or election of members of the Central Committee. We will get a list of paper and we have to choose equal number of men and equal number of women and put them in the same box. That is a process that takes a long time because my choice is not your choice. And this one is that one, is that one, is that one. It takes a time to analyze, compile, verify.
So when can we expect the results tomorrow?
Not tomorrow.
On Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, I will be a magician if I could say what hour.
Yeah.
But we will have a result on Sunday.
Another thing in terms of the scheduling of the Congress, are we behind schedule in terms of the issues that have been discussed?
No, I think we are pushing ahead. Now, today we have made some progress. And the things that have remained are reports in terms of real things that have been done by the government. What did the government do on all the resolutions that were taken by the Fifth Congress. And those are very clear-cut issues. They are not emotional issues. If you have built a school, you have built a school. If you have built a bridge or a road or whatever, if you have protected your environment, it is much, much clearer.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit, as you're inferring to this report, in terms of reporting back to the Fifth Congress and what's going to be taking place tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I think most of the work that I should have done is done. The Prime Minister, because the rules say all the resolutions taken by the Congress that demand something from the government, the Secretary General must write to the Prime Minister. We have done that long time ago. The Prime Minister has a beautiful report that indicates exactly what has been done. She will go through that. So half of my job is done. I still am a delegate. I'm still supporting the chair, so is my deputy. But now we go to a real report. There will be a presentation also on the policy conference we had, second Swapo Party policy conference. That will be done by our secretariat, including the chairperson of the think tank, Dr. Shangula. Okay. So that one, much more clear-cut, direct things.
Last question on the elections. There's a big emphasis on the secret ballot. Why is that important, and how are you going to ensure that the ballot actually remains secret?
It is important because it is a question of fairness, that each person has the right to vote according to his conscience and heart. That's one. The insurance comes from, this is not the first time Lawyer Namanja is doing it. It's actually the third time. And as I said, the process, just even printing the ballot papers, everybody is there, including security. Where they are printed in the presence of everybody and in the security. The transportation of those documents, the storing them, the storage to provide it here will be protected like it is money. And those boxes will be counted, will be opened in the presence of party agent. And the rules will be explained to us before we start voting, and we must agree to them.
Okay. As the final question, the President said yesterday, another quote from Mahatma Gandhi, unity to be real must stand the severest strain without breaking. Is Swapo going to stand the severest strain?
Exactly that we are trying to do. No, if you want a quote, I can also give you one of the quotes. We are not trying to be democratic because we want to please anybody. We have struggled for this democracy. So say Hage Geingob.
Okay. Actually, thank you very much for making time out for our special edition. We hope to get a recap tomorrow and definitely on Sunday as well. Thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Olivia, you've probably been wondering at home what's been taking place here at the Safari Hotel and Convention Center. Well, it is the 6th elective Congress of the Swapo Party. And as it's been said, there's been many things said, but the big lesson, I think, is in terms of the nature of the campaigns and the fact that Swapo can possibly withstand the severest of the storms. But there was a strong message from the former presidents in bringing the calm to the storm and for realigning the possible factionalisms that could have been there. We'll be back tomorrow again for a live update from the Safari Convention Center. So stay with us. And on Sunday, it's election day. But remember, Congress is more than just the elections. I'm Patrick Sam. We'll be back again with a special edition. Take care. Bye.